All right. Hello, YouTubes. We are here. We are doing regional championship predictions with Twitch chat. Say hello, Twitch chat, to the YouTubes. And we're going to go over, I'm not going to fill out a bracket. I'll talk about it and then put them in their places 1 through 6 where they will end up. But again, we're not going to go over the Week 5 recap because that's just too much. But Week 5, a little bit of a struggle bus again, just slightly. But we did get the most important thing right. Diggs versus Bricks. Dignitas made it through. And that was the match that mattered between me and the Chiefs, at least. We were tied going into that very last match to see who would win the prediction caster pick'em. And I won. Back-to-back seasons, baby. Got the trophy again. I've won 3 out of 6 because we didn't do it in season 1. So I'm very, very happy. Very excited. So it's good to be back. It's good to be back on top. Got my trophy. I'm good to go. Ready to go. All right. So let's go over predictions here. Yeah, let's just begin. We'll begin in the upper quarterfinals because that's the match that'll happen first. And people will probably complain at some point, the viewers based on momentum and all that stuff. Like if one of the 5-6 make it in because they won or whatnot. But we talked to a decent amount of players, and most players wanted the break. So when they lose in the upper quarterfinals, they wanted a break. They didn't want to go into another series right after. Now, obviously, there's 2 ways to go about it. You can either do this first match to see who makes it to the World Championship, or you do this match and then let that team get cold for a bit because they will have momentum going to this one, but obviously you will not have any momentum if you're going back-to-back with a loss. So it's more of like pick your poison because this team's going to come in hot now with a win. So it's, here or there. Doesn't really matter. Let's go over to my edit mode here. But basically, the regional championships, obviously, this looks a little bit different than what you are normally used to seeing. We have a page playoff system for 3 through 6. So basically, that means Cloud9 and Space Station, they have 2 lives. If they lose a series, they're still alive down here. Ghost and Rogue only have 1 life to basically make it. Memory, what's up, baby? Oh, well, now I got to pick Ghost. Damn it, man. Getting all nervous here. But let's get into it. Memory, do you still hate me? I know you still do. After you carried me in Rumble, and then, I said your team was bad when you guys were playing bad. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I'll give you credit now. I'm just saying you were playing bad, so I'm going to say you were playing bad. Anyway. Let's get into it. Cloud9 Space Station Gaming. Cloud9, obviously, they finished off the season not too hot. They played well versus G2. It was a very close series, but G2 coming up with the win. And, of course, week number 4, they lost. Cloud9 lost to Space Station Gaming. But Space Station also, very strange team. I feel like... So I think Lawler was talking about this a little bit on Twitter and stuff, where he was like... He was saying something like last season FlyQuest didn't really have a shot to make it in. And I completely disagree. Compared to FlyQuest versus a Space Station like now, where FlyQuest, they got hot at the end of the season, but they stayed hot. They weren't here or there, iffy compared to a Space Station. Obviously FlyQuest, they were the 5th seed though versus the 4th seed of Energy, and obviously it's Energy. So I think a lot of people thought maybe FlyQuest could have been in over EG that season, last season. If they got to play a page playoff, I think FlyQuest maybe could have made it in because they would have played the 6th seed. Very likely would have played EG coming off the loss, and maybe they make it in. But I thought FlyQuest had a really good chance last season. Space Station, I'm a little bit more shaky on. Obviously, Space Station, I think, does have the next best opportunity. But they've been up and down as well. They get... if we look back at week number 4, they played Ghost first, lost, then beat Cloud9. If that was opposite, I think we wouldn't have been as high on Cloud9 going into week number 5. Where if they would have beat Cloud9, you're like, oh, this is fantastic. And then they choke versus Ghost or something like that. Then you'd be like, wait a minute. What's going on, Space Station? So, Space Station's been a little bit too up and down for me. I think Cloud9, they've also been up and down, but obviously their highs are way, way higher than a Space Station, in my opinion. And I think Cloud9 wins this series. They know how to make it to the World Championship, obviously. They've made it past 3 seasons since they've been Cloud9. And they will be there again. So I got Cloud9 in this matchup. So we're going to write them in a little bit, but we don't know where everyone's going to fall. So we'll just go with this. But I think Cloud9 will win that. In a long series, I think they'll win 4-2-ish. But they haven't been playing that well, but they know that they need to play well now. Like, I don't know why people are giving them a lot of grief about the DreamHack qualifiers. The only thing I learned from that, like obviously some people are like, oh man, they're really slumping, is that when Cloud9 doesn't try, it's a lot harder for them to win than when Energy doesn't try. Like, Energy didn't try all that hard, and they went to win the whole thing. I don't know if that really means anything or if that's a lot of value, but, you know, whatever. So I'm not too worried about Cloud9 based on that DreamHack stuff. I'm more worried about them being a little bit up and down. But, like, I think they played much better versus Energy. And then I think it's just because of the way G2 plays that kind of kept Cloud9 down. So I think Cloud9 has this in the bag. So I'll give Cloud9. So they will be playing G2 next in the upper bracket. Then we'll go down to the lowers. Ghost versus Rogue. Rogue got a big win versus Space Station when they absolutely need it. Ghost is on a 3-game winning streak, though. I'm going to ride that hot hand. I feel like Ghost is playing well. Illusion played well again, as well as Memory, as well as Lethamyr. They're all playing pretty well going into the playoffs. Probably, like, honestly, the hottest team coming into the Page playoff part of the bracket. So I think Ghost Gaming will take down Rogue. I feel like Rogue, I don't know. I always have an issue with either Wonder or AJ in most of their series, and I don't know. I just feel like they haven't solved that issue for me where they just, like, either AJ double commits too much or Wonder's getting poor touches. I'm not sold on Rogue. I'm just not sold. Like, Crow's playing pretty well. He's been pretty consistent all season long. But I think Ghost is just clicking a little bit better right now going into this. But both teams obviously coming off some big wins. So I'll give it to Ghost. I'm going to say Ghost is going to win that series. It's probably going to be relatively close. I'll go 4-3 for funsies because I think either team could win that series. And they'll get momentum going into their final series versus Space Station. But here's where Memory leaves the chat right after this. I do think Space Station will turn it around. Like, it depends, because Ghost is, like, still playing about their defense. Like, even Lethamyr, even though he says, like, we have a great dynamic offense, when he was talking, actually, let me bring up the Octane stats, just so I can actually talk with numbers, which is always a little bit better. Like, he's like, we have a great, like, dynamic offense with all three players, but their offense is still not that great. Hold on, just give me 1 second. So I'm a little worried that if they try and win based on their defense alone, and their defense is very good nowadays compared to early on. Oh, Octane's down. Great. Lovely. All right, anyway. Well, like, the Ghost offense I don't think is enough to beat Space Station in a long series. We'll see, because Space Station could be playing kind of poor. And if Ghost can turn up that offense, it's possible. But I think Space Station has too much offense for Ghost defense to hold it down enough for Ghost offense to win the series, in my opinion. I'm going to go Space Station here to move on. So we'll get our top 4 seeds that we had going into the playoffs, which what that means is basically Rogue comes in 6th. We'll start writing in names now. And Ghost comes in 5th. Now we're moving on to the top 4. The Cloud9 G2 series, I feel like, comes down to what Cloud9 we saw earlier. If Cloud9 wins in a commanded fashion versus Space Station, I worry for G2. But it really comes down to what I see from Cloud9 early. Because, again, I'm not sold on G2. Like, sure, in past seasons, like, it's half memeing where I'm not sold on G2. But this season especially, completely not sold on G2. It's probably, like, out of their 4 seasons, I just don't know if this playstyle will work. Like, no one's ever had a playstyle where you have 1 player on defense, for the most part, 2 players on offense work this well since, like, season 1, maybe. Or back when I played. Like, I think I had better goal participation than Rizzo had throughout this season, like, in my career, which is saying a lot. But Rizzo, he's slowly getting the bumps down again, so he's not necessarily participating in that sense, but he'll get enough bumps in here or there. But I just don't know if that, like, 2-headed offense can just keep it going. But their defense is playing pretty solid. But I just don't know. Like, I think Cloud9 will win this series, and I'll eat my hat again if G2 wins. But hey, you know, That's fine. And I think G2 fans want it this way, where I don't feel like the G2 can win, because that's when they win. That's how it works. Every time I think they can win, like at DreamHack, then they lose. So I don't know. But I'm going to go Cloud9 here just because I don't know. I'm not sold. And probably the thing I'm most not sold about with G2 is like, it's not necessarily their game plan to play like this. Like JNaps has said, we're trying to get Rizzo more involved. So it's not like it's their number one game plan to play this way, which I think might also hurt them in a way. I don't know. I'm going Cloud9 here. So G2 will fall into the non-existent third place game, and it basically just depends if Energy loses or Space Station, if G2 gets third or not. Space Station playing NRG. Energy's really good. If you haven't watched this season, they're really good. I'm going to go NRG here. So that would mean Space Station gets number 4, because basically the way it works is there is no third place game. It's based on... Does that fit Space Station? Yeah, okay. It fits kind of nicely. So there's no third place game. It's basically based on your league play seeding, or in cases where the 3-4 gets flipped, your playoff seeding here. So Space Station gets 4. G2 would get 3. The other cool thing about having no third place game, and it's just based on league play, is the number 1 seed gets a little bit of a bonus. I don't know why I wrote G2 Esports. I never write that, but whatever. We'll put Ghost Game, and we'll make it look nice. I think Rogue is just Rogue, right? I don't even know anymore. So one nice thing about there being no third place game is that the number 1 seed coming into the playoffs, they literally cannot finish 4th, which is kind of neat. So it gives them that little bit extra of a bonus. But yeah. But it doesn't matter here. G2 will get 3rd seed, Space Station number 4, and then we move on into the grand finals. Energy versus Cloud9. Hey guys, I don't know if you heard this before, but Energy is really good. They're playing really, really strong. Like, I think Cloud9 could win this if need be. But I think Energy wins. I think Energy has been extremely solid, and I think coming in as that number 1 seed is more of a benefit now, because it just goes into group stages where they'll get a weaker group, and they don't have to worry about having that extra bye where a team comes in hot versus them, so their group will be a little bit easier. But Energy, all 3 players really, really performing extremely well. Fireburner got Player of the Week last week. It could have been all 3. It doesn't really matter. One thing I think people are a little bit maybe like they're taking that Energy Rogue series a little bit too seriously, where maybe some people will have Rogue beaten Ghost because they took Energy to 5. But honestly, I don't think Energy cared all that much about that. Like, they don't care about the perfect season. I know they don't. Like, Garrett's always like, I don't really even care about regionals all that much. I just want to win at Worlds. And obviously, you want to put yourself in the best spot to win Worlds, so they're going to care about regionals. But when you're 6-0 and you've already had a perfect season before, like, they don't care. They knew they were the number 1 seed. They were playing for stat bonuses, and they got all 3. So kudos to them. But I wouldn't worry too much about that. But Cloud9, I think, will come in second here. Cloud9, when they are playing really well, we've seen it at the Season 6 World Championship, they can beat anyone. And they've had some close series versus Energy. Like, even their series in week number 5, I thought was pretty close, even though Energy kind of pulled away in goals. Like, I still think there was a chance there for Cloud9. But I think Energy is probably going to dominate it. It'll probably be like a 4-1, just because Energy is playing so consistent. Like, their consistent level is like close to peak Cloud9, which is insane right now. So Energy should walk away with the title. No surprise there. Energy, like, after the season, it's their best chance to win the World Championship, in my opinion. And yeah, we'll see them at DreamHack Dallas before that. So it'll be good to see them in a LAN environment. See if they can, like, get that monkey off their back at DreamHack would actually be kind of nice to relieve some of that pressure, because we've seen them kind of choke near the end of tournaments or near the end of finals. So maybe if they win DreamHack Dallas, there's a little bit less pressure to win the World Championship. But we'll see as they go forward. But I got Energy moving on there. Let's move, tell me why I'm wrong. But, I don't think anyone's going to argue about Energy. But if you think I'm wrong about anything else, feel free to throw it in the chat now while we move over to Europe, while I get this up. All right, to Europe. Okay, Europe, such a weird thing here. This world is just give Fairy Peak plus his buddies money. We'll see. Look, the problem with Vitality is, like, if they start getting back into that double commit mindset, like in a high pressure situation, now that it's single limb on day number 3, if that happens for one series, they could be out. So I think they got to be worried a little bit about that. And make sure that doesn't happen, because that was happening a little bit versus Triple Trouble, and versus Mouse Sports, at least in that first game. There's a lot of weird double commits from Vitality where there's a chance. There's a chance you take them down. So I would probably, like, if I was a betting man, it's tough. Because I feel like if I was a betting man, I think Energy has a better chance in a single elimination bracket to make it to the finals. But then I always feel like they don't know how to win a finals. Versus Vitality, where, like, if they make finals versus Energy, I think they would take it. But will Vitality make it to the finals is the question there. So I don't know. It's tough. I'd probably put money on Vitality, just slightly over Energy, just because Energy just hasn't won. And it's been a tough road for them. So, all right, moving on. We're going to go over to Europe now. The Europe Regionals. So again, the 3-4 seed is the first matchup, so we'll talk about that one first. PSG versus Triple Trouble. I think whoever loses this is going to be feeling a lot of pressure. A ton of pressure. So I think the series is extremely important. PSG has been those gatekeepers for a really long time now. Triple Trouble, they're getting hot at the right time. They lost to Barcelona, but both these teams lost to Barcelona last week, so you can't really fault them for that. I'm actually going to bring up Wikipedia on my other side just to see exactly where these guys are coming from in terms of, like, win streaks and so on. Like, obviously, they both don't have a win streak coming into this, but before this week, let's see. What was it? PSG and Triple Trouble obviously both went 2-0 the week before. Triple Trouble takes down Vitality. PSG takes down Mouse and TSM, and now that TSM win's not looking as strong. And PSG also went to 5 games versus Mouse. The week before that, Triple Trouble beat PSG 3-2, and PSG beat the Bricks 3-2 as well. Triple Trouble only had 1 game that day as well. So Triple Trouble, they got swept by TSM back in week 2. I feel like that was a better TSM back then, and also a much worse Triple Trouble. I'm going to give this to Triple Trouble based on recency bias, maybe. Like, I think Triple Trouble's been playing slightly better. I wouldn't say it's like a huge amount better, but I think Triple Trouble's slightly better than PSG lately. And we will get another rival series team to make it through. PSG are those gatekeepers, though, so who knows? But I think lately Triple Trouble's been slightly better. Probably be a very close series. And obviously, it depends on nerves, right? With Triple Trouble, where, like, this is their first really, really, really big moment. PSG's been here before, right? So we'll see if those early games, if there's nerves, and PSG gets out to a lead. Then we'll see. Because if PSG goes up 3-0, then Triple Trouble will definitely win the series. Because they will reverse sweep. It's just the way it is. But if PSG only wins game 1, let's Triple Trouble win game 2. Then we'll see. No, but, like, I think those early, like, those first 2 games, if Triple Trouble comes out split, 1-1 at least, I think they win the series. Because I think they are slightly better. But those nerves of those first games are always the ones that are probably the most difficult. And you expect Triple Trouble to have slightly more nerves than PSG. But who knows? But I'll give it to Triple Trouble there. Maybe like a 4-2. 4-2 win. Then on the bottom side of the bracket. Oh, I shouldn't scroll. Sorry. There we go. Bottom side of the bracket. Like, this is crazy because we're getting a lot of new teams to the World Championship right now. We will have 3 new teams if Triple Trouble wins, which would be really, really cool for Europe, which has, like, never happened. I'm 95% sure where we get 3 brand new teams. But Dignitas versus Team Solo Mid. I actually just did a VOD review if you're watching on Twitch, and that'll be up on YouTube the day before this goes live. But wasn't really impressed by either team all that much. They started picking it up towards the end of the series, but Dignitas, I think, is just slightly more on a roll, and TSM kind of falling apart towards the end of the season. I feel like they're just not getting anything going on the teamwork side. I'm going to have to go with that rematch win for Dignitas just because they just did it. just before. So we'll put TSM in number 6 spot. Then Dignitas, they will move on. And oh boy, Dignitas versus PSG is going to be a doozy. That's for sure. PSG, the gatekeepers, PSG always makes it to the World Championship, and then they kind of don't really do a ton usually after that, but they always make it. Dignitas, obviously, like, they can rewrite their entire season if they beat PSG here, and then you don't have to worry about anything. You're going to the World Championship, and then who knows from there. I'm going to go PSG here, though. I don't think Dignitas is playing well enough to take them down. And I was thinking about it beforehand where maybe Dignitas turns it around. Like, I think if Triple Trouble lose versus PSG, I do think whoever wins between Dig and TSM probably make it in. Because I think there'll be a lot of nerves based on that loss. And then also, like, they're coming in with momentum, Dignitas, and Triple Trouble isn't. And again, like, if nerves get to them against PSG, there's going to be even more nerves afterwards about, we can't choke this, we can't choke this. And I do think if Triple Trouble lose, that we get maybe Dignitas or TSM based on, you know, like, if they're playing well enough in that first series. But I think there's a better chance that they beat them than PSG. Oh, I shouldn't write PSG in here, sorry. Wrong spot. Here would be Dignitas. So I think PSG do take down either of those teams. I think they know how to play under pressure. They usually don't close out series, but they do until they make it to the World Championship afterwards. Then at the World Championship, they don't close things out. But this season has shown that they've been closing out series a lot better. They were a strong number 3 seed, that is for sure. They were the only one with positive wins as well, too. So compared to everyone else below them, 4th through 8th, all in the negative win column for game differential. But, oh, sorry, I keep scrolling. But yeah, I think PSG can hold the door and keep Dignitas out. And I think pretty much everyone at the World Championship will be happy if Dignitas is not there, because obviously they know how to play in a live environment. And I think people will feel like their odds are slightly better if Dignitas is not there. And also with a month more of practice, or a month and a half more of practice, Dignitas could be very strong. So I think people would be... The other teams will be slightly happy. They might not say it out loud, but I don't know. But like, if I was a Vitality, I don't want Dignitas there. Don't want them there. Anyway, let's move on. Barcelona versus Triple Trouble. They just beat them last week. I don't expect much of a different result here. So I think Triple Trouble will lose to Barcelona and Barcelona will win. I think Barcelona is really clicking at the right time. Alpha playing amazing. Pretty much all of them are playing pretty well, but Alpha really turned it up last week. I expect him to do something similar. And I think Barcelona win. That would mean Triple Trouble would move down to the 3rd, 4th. Now, I don't know exactly, as we'll get into it. Like, I think Vitality beats PSG. Vitality looks amazing. So, I think in that case, so then, because it's supposed to be based on your league play seed, or league play tiebreakers, but I think if the 4-3 flip like that, I think they also flip for a playoff seed. I don't know if that's in the rules yet or if it will be in the rules, but I'm going to go with it here. I will try and find out later. But for this instance, Triple Trouble. Does that fit? Oh, it doesn't fit. All right. We're going to call him TT. TT will be number 3 seed, and then PSG would be number 4 because Triple Trouble beat them in the playoffs. Things are not fitting well. Oh, God. Oh, God. It's going too far. I hate when it lags like that. All right. Sorry, guys. We'll call him Triple. Triple T. And, yeah, everything's lagging. So, Triple T, 3rd seed. PSG, number 4 seed. Like, I don't see a way Vitality loses that series unless they start double committing like crazy. And we get the Vitality-Barcelona game. That was the best game of the season that we saw. No, not at all. Barcelona got completely shut out last time. I don't expect that to be the same. I expect it to be more competitive. But I'm not going to go crazy here. I do think Vitality is the best team in the world still. As long as they're playing well. And I'll put Barcelona here. Or Barca. Because people want us to call them Barca. But you know what? Screw you guys. Anyway, Barcelona, number 2. It's not very difficult here to determine. But Yeah, I basically went by seed across the board in both regions except for Cloud9 over G2. So we flip those seeds. And we flip Triple Trouble and PSG. And that's basically it. Everything else, well, I kept relatively the same. But the things we've seen in week 4 and 5 are teams can play vastly different week to week. So we just never know. We'll see how these games turn out. But relatively safe bracket here. Nothing crazy, but I'm excited. And then we'll see where they land in their groups. Will be a lot of fun. And World Championship is right around the corner. Technically still, like a month and a half away, but we still have promotion relegation. We still have DreamHack Dallas. So that's one thing that I want to see at, once we get the 12 World Championship teams, how many of those are coming out to DreamHack Dallas? And you would expect the European ones and the NA ones, most of them to come out. Not Triple Trouble. They said that they won't be out, but most of them to come out. And then we'll see if OC or Sam, if any of them make the trip. Hopefully Renegades at least make the trip. But I want to see how they perform there. And then we'll see going into the World Championship how that all unfolds. But it should be a lot of fun. If you guys think I'm terribly wrong or if anyone has any bold predictions, throw it up now. So then when you get it right, you can be like, hey, look at Gibbs' VOD. I said it right here, right now, that TSM was going to win the regional championships. So, thank you, Stay Hydrated Bot. That is a bold prediction. I appreciate it. Perfect time and Stay Hydrated Bot. I hope G2 shows up. I think they absolutely can. I just they are definitely a solid team. It's just it's very we haven't seen this 2-1 style work in forever. But I'll talk about that more on the desk. I'll have some more stats to back it up and all that stuff. So, but yeah, it should be a fun weekend. I don't have to worry about playoff scenarios anymore, which is lovely. Dignitas always makes land. It's the rule. It's very true, man. If Dignitas wins that first game, I get why pretty much everyone could be yep, Dignitas has to win. It's just destiny, right, at that point. And then they get to play Vitality. I could see Dig winning this regional championship. It could happen. They could pull an energy from back in Season 5. I think it was Season 5. No, Season 6, right? Where they look like crap all season, and then they just turn it up one weekend, and then they had an incredible offseason after it. They obviously didn't do well at the World Championship, but it could happen. But I don't know. I need to see better shooting and better everything from Dignitas still. And I don't know if they have it. I just don't know. You said something happened with Cloud9 and DreamHack Dallas. What happened? Aren't they already in that tournament? Oh, so I'm at the DreamHack qualifiers. Cloud9 played in the qualifiers, and they went 0-2 to, rival series-esque teams. But technically, they didn't clinch at that point, but I don't think they were really trying all that hard. One, because their org's going to send them out either way. Two, because they had a very good chance of locking up one of those spots. But they got a little lucky that NRG wound up getting one of the spots because that gave Cloud9 the other one. So, good on them. But, yeah, I don't bank on that too much. Sure, they might have just got beat, whatever. But I personally am just that's not something I worry about with Cloud9. Who is better, Energy or Vitality? I think Vitality is the better team. I think Vitality has shown more weakness at times, more of a chance that they lose a fluky series. And obviously that happened in league play with Triple Trouble, but even in certain games where it's oh crap, they're starting to double commit again. And when they double commit, it could get iffy for them. I feel Energy really hasn't done that a lot at all this season. And they've just been really solid. Now, obviously, it could be the level of competition. Who knows? Maybe NA is garbage right now, and Europe are just gods, including G2 and Cloud9. So, who knows? But I still think Vitality is the better team. I worry a little bit more in a single elimination bracket if Vitality, that they just don't make mistakes. And, I feel they can lose... they have a better chance to lose individual series than NRG. They both have a high percentage of not losing. But, yeah. But I would say if Vitality and Energy played, I would still put money on Vitality, personally. Thatcher. So the way it works for the DreamHack qualifiers was the top 2 that finish in DreamHack qualifiers or win the qualifiers, they get the invites. But the other invites were based on league play for RLCS. So they took the top 2 from RLCS league play would also get the other invites. Because normally there's like 4 invites, like 2 for Europe and 2 for NA, based on your accolades outside of a DreamHack qualifiers. So that's what they're basing it on. And the other thing is like if one of those teams was a top 2 team in league play, but they also won the DreamHack qualifiers, it just moves down the list to number 3 in league play, to number 4 in league play. So that's how Cloud9 made it. They got number 3 in league play, and Energy won one of those spots. So that spot goes to Cloud9. That's how that worked. And that's also why G2 before last weekend, they also clinched because they couldn't finish below top 3 either. So they also clinched. Cloud9 will get a lower seed now, I think. Not sure exactly how it works, but I would assume G2 and Energy would get the top 2 seeds in that top 4 between Europe and NA. And then in the seeds 5 through 8 is where Cloud9 will be because they finished 3rd. Same with Space Station, where they finished 4th. So Gibbs picking Rogue to be last again. Hey, man, I'm happy they made it for sure. But, yeah. Ghost has that hot hand right now. Okay. So that'll do it for predictions. Thank you guys for watching on YouTube. Thank you guys for watching on Twitch. We'll see you this weekend. Same time as always. We have pre-show, and then we have the games. It'll be a little bit of a longer day because these are all best of 7. But it'll be a lot of fun. So definitely come check it out. We're going to have a good old time. And, yeah, so that'll do it for predictions. Thank you guys for watching.